Good evening, everybody. Sorry about that. There's stuff happening behind the scenes. Welcome to the stream. Just starting up. Let me get the camera turned back on now that she's not in the room anymore. Oh yeah. It's been one hell of a day. And I'm sure you guys have heard it 3 ways to Sunday about what's going on. Yeah, never more embarrassed to be an American than right now. Okay, enough of that crap. There's more to come in the videos, unfortunately, but operational information as of 8 a.m. Wait a minute. I loaded up the wrong one. There we go. As of 8 a.m., the 28th of February, regarding the Russian invasion. Hey, Bondi, Mitch, Pyro Kurt, might as well go say hi to everybody here. KKGG, hey, look, there's some guy named Canty Luden in chat. General Consensus, Sherlock Holmes. I know you're not Sherlock Holmes, but Linda, Mitch again. Sirimar, good to see you. Andrew Petrie. Oh, I think that's everybody that said something in chat. So, moving on. As always, they start the report with glory to Ukraine. The 1,101st day of the large-scale armed aggression of the Russian Federation against Ukraine has begun. Ukrainian defenders are steadfastly holding back the onslaught of the occupiers, inflicting significant losses on the enemy. In total, 128 clashes were recorded over the past day. Unfortunately, it looks like Russia is getting more bold again, increasing their number of attacks per day. According to updated information, the enemy carried out 1 missile strike and 91 airstrikes, using 1 missile and 128 guided aerial bombs. Russia also carried out over 5,000 artillery strikes, with 162 of those being from MLRSs. Russia also used 2,865 kamikaze drones for destruction. The aggressor carried out airstrikes near the following settlements: Krasnyopil in Sumy, Galahenivka in Chernihiv, Razny Slatiny Doroshivka in the Kharkiv region, Servisk, Kramatorsk, Konstantinivka, Oleksivka, Pokrovsk, Udachny, Zirozovo, Alexandro Kalinova, Gordivka, Nadivka, Horivkova, Novopil in the Donetsk region, Kamyansky, Maloserbashky, Zelenischizny, Huliopol, Novodorivka in the Zaporizhia region, Tyanenka, Pridniprovsky, Tarasivk Inuits in the Kherson region. A large number of cities bombed today. Well, yesterday. Over the past 24 hours, missile troops and artillery of the defense forces hit one area of concentration of personnel, 2 enemy air defense systems, 3 enemy artillery systems, and that is all for today. Still good numbers. You can't blow up what's already been blown up, so Ukraine working through those targets every day. In the Kharkiv direction, the enemy tried to break through the defense lines of our defenders 6 times in the directions of Voschansk and Kindrashivka. Going to the Deep State map, and of course support Deep State. They do great work if you are able to support. Of course, Kharkiv and we all know Voschansk. Coming over towards Kupiansk. I think it's over here in Kupiansk. I'm not sure. Yes. Kindrashivka right here. Just to the north of Kupiansk. Going to the Kupiansk direction. They don't have it here. So they go right to the Liman direction, where the enemy attacked 6 times. He tried to penetrate our defenses near the settlements of Yampolivka, Torsky, Zeleny Dolna, and Koldazny. So heading to the south from Kupiansk to, come here, Liman, Izium, Yampolivka, Kolodazny, Torsky, and Vodani, Zeleny Dolna. Okay. Zeleny Dolna is one of those small towns that I can never. There we go. Right here, Zeleny Dolna. Okay, so Zeleny Dolna, Koldazny, Yampolivka, Torsky. Moving from the Liman direction over to Survisk, where our soldiers successfully repelled 2 enemy attacks in the Bilogorivka area. Liman is here, Survisk, and Bilogorivka. Moving over from, the Survisk direction to the Kramatorsk direction, where the invaders attacked twice in the areas of Vaskulivka and Pritechny. Slovansk, Kramatorsk, Konstantinivka, Chasiv Yar, Pritechny right here just south of Chasiv Yar, and Vasukivka is here. Moving from Kramatorsk to the Toretsk direction, where the enemy carried out 11 attacks in the areas of Krymsky and Toretsk itself. Going directly south of Chasiv Yar, you run into Toretsk, and zooming in, Krymsky is right here next to Toretsk. One of the hottest areas in Ukraine at the moment, Pokrovsk direction, Mirnograd, and of course Konstantinivka is here under heavy bombardment almost every day now for the last week or so from Russia, where in the Pokrovsk direction our defenders stopped 49 assault actions of the aggressor towards the settlements of Berezivka, Mirny, Tromin, Lysivka, Pokrovsk, Novoukrayinka, Zerozova, Kotiny, Udachny, Nadivka, Upensivka, Pyrobrazenka, Zaporizhia, Andrivka, Prishtiany, Mirolubivka, and Dodanivka. pretty much the whole front. Baranivka, Novotoroysky, Mirolubivka, Promin, Lisivka, Zeleny, Novoukrayinka, of course, Pokrovsk, Pishkyany, Koltine, Udachny, Upensivka, Zaporizhia, Uminmore, Bogdanivka, and Andrivka. A huge number of assaults. Russia is still trying to push very hard to get into Pokrovsk. Moving on from Pokrovsk to the Novopavlivska direction, where the enemy carried out 16 attacks in the areas of the settlements of Constantinople, Novopol, Novodorivka, Sugotuny, and Burlatsky. Novopavlivka is here. Constantinople, Rozdolny, Budlatsky, and Novopil. What was the other one? Some of the other ones. Novopol, Novodorivka, and Skudiny. Novodorivka is here. And, there it is. Skudiny. So again, basically pushing every advantage they can to try and get to the main highway, and close off. You see right here, this is, let me zoom back out and I can draw. I forget about that on the here. This is the border of Donetsk. You notice all the attacks are happening right in Donetsk, trying to push out to that border marker. They're doing the same up here in Pokrovsk, but they're also trying to cross this highway here. And of course, this highway here is the supplies for this area. Moving on from Novopavlivsky to the Guliopol direction, where the enemy attacked the position of our defenders in Sharvini 6 times. I forgot I was still on draw. Coming down to Guliopol, Sharvony is right here, where Russia tried to advance 6 times. Moving over to the Orhiv direction. The occupation forces stormed positions of the defense forces 9 times in Stepe. Okay. That name must be a Russian name because I cannot say this for the life of me. Pyatachki. And Kamiansky. Coming back to the deep state map, coming over here to Orhiv, Kamiansky, Pyatichachki. Oh, and our so focused on this name, I forgot this town. So Stepe. I'm not sure where this town is at, so I'm guessing they probably mean Stepova, but it's just translated wrong by Google. Oh, sorry about that. In the Volyn and Polizia directions, no signs of the formation of enemy offensive groups were detected. In the Kupiansk and Pridniprovsky directions over the past day, the enemy did not conduct offensive actions. And you'll have to excuse me, my tummy grumbly. Oh, beans, gotta love them. The defense forces of Ukraine continue the operation in the Kursk Oblast. Over the past day, the enemy carried out 16 airstrikes, dropping 28 guided aerial bombs, and carried out 405 artillery strikes, with 15 being from MLRSs. Ukrainian defenders repelled 12 assault actions of the invaders. Our soldiers are inflicting significant losses in manpower and equipment on the occupation forces and are actively undermining the enemy's offensive potential in the rear. They go into the losses for the day. We'll cover that with a graphic. I promise this time we'll actually do it. Join the defense forces. Razom Pereможемо. Slava Ukraina. Not TMI, it's the truth. You can't handle the truth. I do just want to go down here and show you the image from Kursk, since they don't give us locations of the assaults. But these are where the assaults are happening in Kursk area. Let me go to Discord. Grab the graphic for today. Total combat losses of the Russian invaders. February 28th, 11:01 days of the war. Yes, I said that purposely that way to annoy people. Oh. Sorry to hear that, Sherlock. I hope everything goes well. Today, Russia lost 1,060 personnel. 13 more tanks were destroyed. 17 armored personnel vehicles. 54 artillery systems. 1 MLRS. 172 drones. 126 vehicles. And 4 special equipment. That is Russia's losses for today. Zelensky did not do an address to the people today. We've all seen what Zelensky went through today, so this is just before all that went down.
Good morning. Thank you so much. So, big team. Hello. Very good to see you. How are you? Yeah, very excited. Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Hold on, let me go back here. Let's count the thank yous.
Good morning.
Thank you so much.
So, big team. Hello. Very good to see you. How are you? Yeah, very excited. Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Happy to see you. We know each other. It's not the first meeting, and I'm very proud that Ukraine has such big strategic, even not partner, not only partner, friend like the United States. So we are very thankful for this.
We're here today as a show of support. We have committee chairs. We have the president.
Yeah, and then it all went south with J.D. Vance raising his voice at Zelensky in the Oval Office, claiming that Zelensky has never said thank you, even though he said it 2 to 3 times minutes before that. You know, go back and watch it. It's all over. I'm not going to play it on here. I should, but I'm not going to. I've seen enough of it today. Yeah, JD Vance was the one that raised his voice and started threatening Zelensky. Zelensky replied, then Donald stepped in with raising his voice. Zelensky asked, "Why are you raising your voice at me?" And we're not raising our voice. Yeah, anytime you hear somebody say, "I'm not raising my voice," they're raising their voice. Yeah, LJ, you should know this. I'm not raising my voice. Yeah, just like the drill instructor doesn't raise his voice, he's just speaking in a tone loud enough for everybody to hear. That I was surprised by that. I was watching Fox on Mercado's media. There's only so much of American bullshit I can take, and that's coming from a reluctant American at this point. You guys have all seen it. I'm not gonna do American bullshit for right now, even though it is Ukrainian tied. I will say one thing out here. I've seen so many people getting all butthurt at, this was in Mercado's chat, getting all butthurt about the way you spell Zelensky. Well, here is Zelensky's official Telegram channel. There is the spelling he uses. If you want to get butthurt and tell people they're spelling it wrong or how to spell it, tell them to spell it this way. I'm not saying do that to, like normal people, but with being dyslexic, I have a special hatred for the internet spelling police. So, yeah, if you're gonna play the internet spelling police, there's how you spell Zelensky. With that out of my system, let's hop into the videos for today. Scroll back up and you get to see we end with a video from the 42nd Brigade. Apparently not. We got... Oh, I might skip that one because I have a lot of videos from United 24 today. So we'll end with a video from the 42nd Brigade, Viper's Brigade. We'll go through. Well, yeah, well, never mind. We'll deal with that when we get to it. Some impressive videos today, some sad videos, but here we are at the beginning of the day with last night's drone attacks. Just want to point out, Trump says Putin wants peace, but does a man that wants peace fire 208 drones at civilian targets overnight? 107 of those were shot down, leaving 101. Thankfully, 97 UAVs failed to reach their targets. Unfortunately, that does mean 4 UAVs hit their targets. Even though they do get shot down, jammed, they do crash and cause damage. As a result of the enemy UAVs, Kharkiv, Sumy, Mykolaiv, and Zaporizhia regions suffered damages. There were emergency power outages last night. as well, both in Kiev and Chernihiv, I believe. However, let's getting right into the videos. Kherson, a Russian command post was hit by a Ukrainian drone. This was on February 26, around 10 p.m. Forward command post of the Russian occupier's 14th Army was successfully hit near the settlement of Ivanivka in Kherson. Here is the video from the drone. Well, short but sweet. I took a breath and I almost inhaled this. Well, I did inhale this ice cube that got stuck in my throat. Leanne says Zelensky is transcribed. Every country does it differently. In Swedish, it's spelled one way. Yeah, I know it's spelled differently in every other way. That's why I was being more sarcastic than official. But yeah, to sit there and go on the internet and try to correct people for spelling something one way when it's spelled 100 different ways. Yeah, I was digging at the internet spelling police. As long as you know who you're talking about, I say it's all good. You know, we all spell Putin Putler, and we know who we're talking about, so. Don, Europe needs to make a deal with Ukraine, supply the military needs, and leave the U.S. out of it. I would agree, but there's one little stipulation that just is twisting the knife in the back. Is anything produced in the U.S., there's a stipulation that it cannot be transferred to somebody else without the U.S.'s approval. So anything U.S. made would have to be basically approved by the dimwit. And unfortunately, because he had his little feelings hurt and had to cry on TV about it, I don't see that happening in the near future. Happy birthday to Vasily Maluk, the head of security services of Ukraine. Operational ZCU put out this video for his birthday. So, you know, it's always nice to see the soldiers under a commander honor their commander. Because you know that wouldn't happen if they didn't have respect and gratitude towards that leader. So here is his birthday video. Sorry, I was trying to refill my water, but the video ran out. Shahid taken out. Shooting down of a Shahid attack UAV by soldiers of the Kherson Anti-Aircraft Missile Brigade in the southern direction. Here's their video. And another short but sweet. So another Shaheed bites the dust. And those of you who are just lurking, listening, and not watching the video, now is the time to pay attention, because a Russian ammo depot storing thermobaric munitions was hit today, and the light show is glorious. Here you go. If there was ever a video that needed like classical music behind it and timed with the highs with the, yeah, someone needs to put some music to that, because this is the most deserving video I've seen yet. Yeah, I'm playing favorites, but this is my favorite video so far. On the night of February 28th, the Defense Forces of Ukraine destroyed a thermobaric ammunition storage facility of the Russian invaders in temporarily occupied Donetsk, Seladova district. 3 more important facilities of the Russian occupiers were hit, in particular the Ilisk oil refinery, Krasnodar, which is involved in supplying the Russian occupation army. The result of the hit is being clarified. The 66th Brigade stops a Russian assault in Liman area. So another BMP for the barbecue. On not so nice news, eternal memory to Ethan Hertwig. Today we said goodbye to Ethan on the square, United States citizen and veteran of the U.S. Marine Corps who fought and died for Ukraine near Avdiivka. Ukraine showing him honors.
Ukraine.
And of course, the square they're talking about is Independence Square on Krещатик in Kiev. This is an archive video 2022 from the Omega Group. I don't do what they said justice, so I will translate. And not all operations are completely successful. There are bad moments in the histories of groups. This archive video showing Omega Special Operations Command soldiers being ambushed while performing a combat mission in Kharkiv. Here is old video, but again, they wanted this to be seen, so here I am showing it. They took fire. The driver has no choice but to stay standing up and back the boat up. So the injured were left with the boat. Those that were able-bodied still went off up the bank of the river, took out the people that performed the ambush, came back to the boat, and now they're evacuating the wounded. Not an easy thing to watch, but it needs to be seen that not everything is sunshine and flowers. Although there is sunshine, there was not flowers. Border checkpoint used by Russia. Well, I'll just say what they said. Ukrainian armed forces successfully struck a border post of the Russian FSB in the settlement of Biloberezka in Bryansk. As a result of the targeted attack, important enemy military infrastructure was destroyed, including communications equipment, signal amplifiers, satellite communication equipment, and other technical means to coordinate combat operations. This will significantly reduce the enemy's ability to control forces and assets in the area. Here is the video of the attack. Yeah, I think we all know who you're talking about. Go with the flow. But that was the communication outpost for the Russian FSB in Bryansk. You're talking about this one. This is... I wanted to share this because Nash Slon I Trump. Our elephant and Trump. So, yeah, that's the nickname for Zelensky in Ukraine. It's not a slander or anything. It is showing very much respect. One video that didn't really get a whole much of a notice was the Ukrainian ambassador. This is the Ukrainian ambassador and her reaction to Trump and Vance raising their voices at Zelensky.
I want a ceasefire because you get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
And of course, you hear Zelensky asking about guarantees and Trump yelling back at him that you got to get the ceasefire first. Yeah, but how can you have a ceasefire with somebody who's already signed 22 ceasefires and has broken every single one of them? On lighter news, British volunteers transfer 35 pickup trucks to Ukrainian Defense Forces. Vehicles were delivered to Lviv, where the official ceremony of handing them over took place. The vehicles arrived in Ukraine, not empty, but loaded with humanitarian aid, new tires, and other necessary items and provisions. Here is the video.
Cause you're a sky full of stars. I'm gonna give you my heart. Cause you're a sky full of stars. Cause you light up the path. I don't care, go on and tear me apart.
You know, we all should know 69 Sniffing Brigade, Cars for Ukraine. This group is called Pickups for Peace. There are so many groups out there raising vehicles for the military in Ukraine because there is such a need. I don't care who you work with, who you help out, as long as you're helping out. A big heart to each and every one of you. The Russians attacked Kharkiv, Zaporizhia, Sumy, Kherson, Mykolaiv with drones at night. The Russians used at least 12 drones for the attack in Kharkiv. A private house was damaged, 3 people were injured. Massive strike on the energy system. Zaporizhia, drone hit a residential high-rise building, causing a fire on the upper floor. 5 private houses and 3 multi-story buildings were damaged. Sumy, apartment building and 10 private houses were damaged. A low-pressure gas pipeline was also damaged. Kherson, a 36-year-old man received a mine explosive injury with shrapnel wounds. Mykolaiv, a warehouse and a cargo van caught fire due to falling debris from a downed drone. Rescuers quickly extinguished the fire. It took out 20 square meters, but they prevented the fire from spreading. Here is the video from one of those areas. This is actually Kharkiv, the fire in the apartment building. You see a little girl's school backpack. Russia attacks civilians. Emergency power outages have been introduced in regions of Ukraine due to Russian attacks on energy facilities. Power outages affected the Dnipro Oblast, Donetsk, Kivnograd, Poltava, and Sumy regions. Have a couple United 24 videos for you today. This first one is inside a Ukrainian Patriot unit.
Surface-to-air missile system. It was January 2023. We traveled to the United States and were trained there for 3 months. Although this is very short, in the US, Patriot operators are trained for 9 months. And in 3 months, we mastered the usage of this type of weapon to the maximum, showed good knowledge and skills. Our partners were delighted that we were learning so quickly, as we understand that there's a war in the country and our people and our country need us, and there's no time for long training. From the first days it arrived in Ukraine, we were positioned to defend the Kyiv region, infrastructure and energy facilities. My unit destroyed a Ha-47M2 Kinzhal ballistic missile on May 4th, 2023. Then, over the entire period, we destroyed dozens of ballistic targets that were flying at critical infrastructure facilities in the Kyiv region and at civilians. Therefore, I believe we have saved a lot of lives and continue to do so every day. Those who believe that the Patriot system operates in automatic mode are wrong because it does not fire by itself. Even when the Patriot is operating in semi-automatic mode, people are still involved and operators still have to do everything to respond quickly to the situation, while it is dependent on the work of the operators. On February 12th, during another massive UAV attack by the enemy, information was received at 4:30 about the enemy launching ballistic missiles. The unit was put on high alert. The personnel were at their workplaces. The reconnaissance detected 6 ballistic targets. They worked on them without hesitation and the missiles were intercepted. They practice every anti-aircraft battle 100%. They do their best. The support of Ukrainians, the support of the Ukrainian people is very important to us because when we witness this support, it inspires and gives us strength because we always do our best to win. It is impossible to destroy all the targets 100%. Even destroyed targets still fall somewhere, explode on the ground. This system, like any air defense system, is a collective high-tech weapon. Therefore, the effectiveness of combat missions is achieved by the work of everyone, absolutely everyone in the unit. Our unit has trained many people who are not with us on training abroad, but they have already undergone full training here with our people who have become instructors and are in no way inferior to Western partners. In April, it will be 2 years since Ukraine received the Patriot system. Ukraine is the only country in the world that uses the Patriot system in this way, the only country where there have been so many uses and targets destroyed over 2 years. Kinzhal, Zircon, Iskander, other ballistics, all types and means of air attack. We have become a model for the whole world on how to use this equipment, and our partners are already learning from us. We have something to share, something for our partners to learn.
And now the U.S. won't learn it because Trump threw a temper tantrum. Inside the secret workshop, Ukrainian engineers are building anti-drone armor for military vehicles from Abrams to Leopards to Soviet air tanks and British Bulldogs. Their innovations are protecting soldiers on the front lines from deadly FPV attacks. Here's the video. Again, credit to United 24 for putting these videos out there and getting them subtitled for us.
Facility that on the first glance is doing some ordinary metalworks, but in fact they are saving Ukrainian soldiers' lives.
We are in a mechanical workshop where we manufacture anti-drone protection. Initially we worked from blueprints, then proceeded with frame production. Over time, we made some modifications to the designs as we gained more experience. The soldiers provided feedback on how to make the protection more practical and reliable. These two factors, reliability and practicality, are our top priorities. My name is Andriy, and I'm in charge of relations with the Armed Forces of Ukraine at Steel Front, Medinvest's project. For 2 years now, we've been developing anti-drone protection structures for both Soviet and Western military vehicles. So far, we've produced around 300 armor kits. At first, we focused on armored vehicles, starting with the M1A2 Abrams, followed by Soviet T-72s and T-64s. We've also worked on Leopard tanks, specifically A4, A5, and A6 mods. Our projects have included infantry fighting vehicles like the Bradley, the French VAB armored personnel carrier, and all M113 mods, A1, A2, and A3. Currently, we're working on the FV432, a British vehicle.
I'm sitting in the FV432 or the British Bulldog APC. It has been around since the 60s, but we were told that this particular one was made in the 80s. Obviously, when it was produced, there was no concerns about a small FPV drone that can carry an RPG shell, so the armor on it is quite thin. Because of that, the guys from the facility had to cover almost all of the surface of the vehicle with a special anti-drone armor to protect the crew right here inside of the vehicle.
This mesh system is called anti-drone armor. When a drone drops an explosive payload, most of the energy is absorbed by the mesh rather than reaching the vehicle's armor directly. The protection system dissipates the blast force, keeping the vehicle intact. This is crucial for the crew inside. From the feedback we've received from soldiers on the front lines, it's clear that modern warfare has changed drastically. These vehicles were not originally designed to withstand attacks from above, especially from FPV drones. For example, even the Abrams has relatively thin top armor. While this wasn't a design flaw in its original purpose, in today's combat environment, it has become a vulnerability. That's why we focus on reinforcing the weak points identified by the soldiers themselves. We received a message from one brigade operating T-72s. They actually sent us an audio recording to thank us. 3 tanks had been hit, but the anti-drone protection saved the crews. We also had similar feedback from a brigade using Abrams tanks, where our protection repeatedly helped shield them from FPV drone attacks. Now, with fiber-optic controlled FPV drones becoming more common, this protection, when combined with dynamic armor, is proving to be even more effective. We are proud to contribute in any way we can from the home front. This is our way of helping the soldiers in the front lines.
Yeah, Linda, it's going to be a shit show in the US until like next week. It's just going to be crazy. And of course, the truth's not going to be told. It's going to be the narrative they want to play. Ukrainians gathered in the US to support Zelensky before his meeting for Trump. We all know he definitely needed the support now. Hold on, let me back that up. 400 plus agreements broken since 2014. Russia cannot be trusted. And yet we're trying to make a deal with them. Trump's trying to make a deal with them. Fucking Trump. Oh my God. You know, these opinions have probably already changed. But Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty did interviews with Ukrainians in the street asking what they thought about the Trump US-Russia negotiations. Is not even really relevant anymore, but here they are.
За столом переговорів немає. Ви бачите, що у нас шок. У мене лично, як громадянин України, тому що те, на що ми сподівалися, та країна, яка, як ми вірили і думали, що вона стане гарантом і захистить, і дасть нам те, чого дійсно потрібно на фронті.
Треба розмовляти, але на яких умовах це повинен ми вирішити народ, а не тільки наш президент. Це дуже важливо, тому що багато людей вже немає, і ми повинні розуміти, ради чого це все було.
Треба закінчувати війну, треба припиняти, щоб не гибли українці, мирне населення. Як це зробити, думаю, знає наше керівництво.
А на Трампа взагалі ніякої надії немає, чесно. І дуже мені сумно, що так ставляться до нашого президента.
Нас не вважають серйозним соперником, тому що в корупції пов'язані. Потому что по бегущей строке по телевизору сколько миллиардов нам выделяют? Где они? И по бегущей строке по телевизору дайте мне рубль чинам на ЗСУ.
Надо прекращать, сколько уже побили. Если кто-то что-то не понимает, там, я не знаю, видно же уже невооруженным глазом, что мы не потянем без кого-то, а с нами уже никто не хочет.
Wow. That's hitting more true than ever. I did not need to know that, Blondie. And to be fair, they did it from the Russian side.
Мира ждем. Мира, конечно же, мира. Россия победит.
Нам лучше, чтобы это прекратилась война. Две нации, которые близкие родственники, неправильной политикой они воюют. Я считаю, что это неправильно.
Наверное, хотелось бы надеяться, что это приведет к мирному регулированию, потому что очень надоела повестка какой-то затяжного кризиса, как это можно лучше назвать аккуратнее. Вот.
Afraid to say war because you'll go to jail.
Внутренние ощущения, я надеюсь, что это приведет к чему-то продуктивному, так скажем, к миру, к мирному разрешению конфликта. Наверное, так.
Это большой успех и большое продвижение вперед. Благодаря политике нашего президента. Грамотной, уверенной в себе. Я считаю, что это шаг к тому, чтобы мы теперь в ожидании переговоров уже Трампа и Путина будем надеяться на успех. Я, во всяком случае, верю.
Но в данном случае лучше Украину вообще уничтожить.
The best thing to do is to destroy Ukraine completely and then build Russia there. You want to know what Russians think? There you go.
А потом построить там Россию. В результате этого получится, что...
That way we'll fool America as they don't get any of their money back.
Мы надуем американцев тем, что
не будет выплаты таких долгов, которые туда будут. И поэтому Европа задумается.
И цели войны с Украиной не достигнуты, которые были поставлены. Так что пока никак.
Мне кажется, переговоры в любом случае нужны. А там дальше будет видно.
Столько людей гибнет, мирного населения, нужно как-то все упорядочить.
After Trump and Vance's little 2-year-old temper tantrums, Macron came out. Russia is the aggressor. Ukraine is the victim. The solution is this. There is an aggressor. It is Russia. There is a people, and I believe we are all right to support Ukraine and oppose Russia 3 years ago. And we should continue to do so. And when I say we, I mean the United States of America, the Canadians, the Japanese, and many others. That is how it should be. And we should thank everyone who helped, who should respect what is happening, those who are fighting for their independence, their children, and for the security of Europe. Many world leaders came out and supported Zelensky and condemned Trump. To give you an idea, countries whose leaders have so far publicly supported Ukraine after Trump and Vance's verbal attack on Zelensky. Another video from Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty, a breakdown of the invasion from day one. The full-scale invasion, anyways. I hope do something in the end.
For 3 years, Ukrainians have been fighting off Russia's full-scale invasion. The war began with Moscow expecting a quick victory. The map tells a different story. Russia launched attacks from the north, east, and south, capturing large areas of territory with minimal resistance. But in the first hours of the invasion, they failed to capture Hostomel airport, strategically located an hour's drive from the center of Kiev. For 36 hours, Ukrainian forces managed to defend the airport. It was later captured by Russian troops, but the runway was so damaged it couldn't be used, thereby preventing the rapid deployment of troops and equipment into the heart of Ukraine's capital. In early March, Kherson became the first major city to fall. Russian forces reached the outskirts of Kiev and Mariupol was surrounded. At this point, Russia believed Ukraine would quickly collapse, but that didn't happen. April 2022 was a turning point. Russian forces, unable to take Kiev, retreated from northern Ukraine. But mid-May, after 80 days of siege, Russian forces took full control of Mariupol. The city was razed to the ground after relentless bombardment. Then, by the end of August, Ukraine launched its first major counteroffensives in the east and south. In September, Ukrainian forces liberated large parts of the Kharkiv region and smaller parts of the Donetsk region in a rapid advance, liberating the cities of Liman and Sviatohirsk. By November, they reclaimed Kherson. At this point, the conflict shifted from a fast-moving invasion to a war of attrition. Through the winter of 2022 and into 2023, fighting concentrated around the eastern city of Bakhmut. Russia, particularly the Wagner mercenary group, suffered massive casualties but finally took the city in May 2023. A month later, Wagner's founder Yevgeny Prigozhin staged a short-lived mutiny. He died 2 months later in a mysterious plane crash. Bakhmut was the last significant Russian victory for a while. But Ukraine's counteroffensive that summer didn't achieve the breakthrough many had hoped for. By late
Let's remember
2023,
Bakhmut,
Ukraine
May
faced
of
serious challenges.
2023.
Western military aid slowed, ammunition shortages worsened, and Russia strengthened its defenses. In early 2024, Russia took Avdiivka after months of fighting. Then in May, it launched a new offensive in the Kharkiv region, capturing several villages and opening a new front. In the second half of 2024, Moscow increased pressure on the Donbas and captured several cities: Vuhledar, Kurakhove, part of Toretsk, and Chasiv Yar. However, it took months to take over each city, and according to military analysts, Russian forces suffered huge losses. And then, something unexpected happened. In August 2024, Ukraine launched a surprise offensive into Russia's Kursk region. This operation was aimed at forcing Russia to divert troops from the Donbas. Ukraine advanced up to 30 kilometers inside Russia, briefly controlling dozens of villages. But by early 2025, Russia had regained much of that territory, with reports of North Korean troops fighting alongside Russian forces. Today, 3 years into the war, the front line has barely moved in some places, but in others, Russia is slowly advancing. For Moscow, this war has not gone as planned. Its initial goal was a quick takeover of Ukraine. Instead, it's locked in a prolonged, costly conflict.
They did a fairly decent job. There's a few inaccuracies and a lot of stuff left out. But yeah, May of 2023 is when the Russians captured Bakhmut. Clear for air alerts, that's always nice to see. Let me get up here to Bakhmut. May 2023. This is how far they've gotten in basically 2 years. They went from one big city to the outskirts of the next big city and have been there for 2 years. Pokrovsk, yeah, it's been one hell of a battle, but it's not been a short one. I want to say, again, May of last year. This is basically all they've been able to do since May. For an entire year, they moved from about here to about there. It's ridiculous what Russia, the second army in the world, is doing. Anyways, like I said, a few inaccuracies and a lot of missing points, but you're gonna have that when you do a 4-minute breakdown of a 3-year long invasion. United 24 did a video on the Raybird UAV, laser guided precision and reconnaissance drone.
The crew is going to launch it in a couple of minutes. The UAV itself is pretty interesting. Its airtime is around 28 hours and it has many special features. So let's check it out.
We began working with reconnaissance UAVs back in 2016, so our journey didn't start with the full-scale invasion. From the very first days of the war, Raybird played a role in Kyiv's defense. We conducted reconnaissance on enemy approaches to the city, helped target military convoys, and carried out long-range surveillance missions. Our missions typically last at least 8 hours, with a maximum fuel capacity of 9 liters. We also have a version with a smaller fuel tank. If the drone is being used for strike missions, where endurance isn't a priority, we only need enough fuel to reach and engage the target. In these cases, we use the reduced tank version, which holds 5 liters. We use standard 95 octane gasoline without any specific brand or supplier partnerships, just regular 95 octane fuel.
As we were being told previously, the Raybird was suited the best for reconnaissance tasks, considering its range with the internal combustion engine. But recently they've added a couple of new features, and the one we can talk about is laser guidance. The UAV can basically light up targets for artillery or MLRS systems on the battlefield, and it is quite impressive.
We are limited by the technical characteristics of the ammunition we're working with. That's why we already have a general understanding of the sectors and the area of interest where the gun is aimed. After that, proper coordination with the artillery crews is essential, as the timing of laser activation and illumination is critical. There's even a specific formula used to calculate it precisely. We reach the target, coordinate, activate the laser, gun fires, and we observe a precise hit from above. Potentially, we can also use our laser guidance system in coordination with aviation in the future. The parachute is housed in the UAV's tail cone and deploys in a way that protects its payload. An air cushion inflates on the back to soften the landing. After touchdown, we perform a post-flight inspection to check for any damage. If everything is intact, the aircraft is ready for its next mission.
So, a nice little in-depth look at Ukrainian drones. I know some of you have mixed feelings about Denis Davidoff, but sometimes you gotta love him. Quoting Trump, "We want to work with Zelensky and we will. He's the best president of Ukraine," said by Trump. Denis's response, "Oh, okay, so Trump has split personality disorder too." Adam Schiff, Senator Adam Schiff. "A hero and a coward are meeting in the Oval Office today. And when the meeting is over, the hero will return home to Ukraine." Of course, tweeted out before the meeting, but fairly accurate. I love how Denis can find some of these weird stuff. So, apparently there's some global warming happening in St. Petersburg.
Вон все выходят на улицу. Она жестко загорится сейчас.
Капец.
Ну, тебе вообще так не...
Ой, жестко, смотри, там горит везде. Или это дым так оттуда?
Дым.
Нифига себе начинается.
Дымит, горит вон там.
Что-то
So,
резко
probably
тут
just another
разгорается всё.
smoking accident.
Вон все выходят на...
Yeah, Ozzy T throwing himself on the cookies for me, since I can't have any, no sugar. Mayor of Kharkiv, a Shahed drone has hit a medical facility where people were present. There is a fire at the impact site. This is Kharkiv tonight. Here's the video. Yeah, I don't have a problem with Dennis personally. I know other people do. I think he's doing the best he can with what has happened. There's medical issues behind him not joining the military as well. So there's stuff like that. It's not as clear as everybody would like it to be. Nothing ever is in a war. But work of the Unmanned Aerial Vehicle Platoon of the 2nd Mountain Assault Battalion of the 128th Mountain Assault Brigade in Zaporizhia. Here is the video. Let me restart this from the beginning. Yeah, but when 60% of your population is unemployed, there's only two things you can keep that will keep them going: booze and cigarettes. Yeah, I can agree with that, Aussie T. It's I've said it before on this channel. We all have opinions. They're like assholes. Everybody has one. They all stink. So yeah, there's opinions of Dennis that I don't agree with. But he's doing what he can. And after this war is over and Air Ukraine is flying again, I hope to be on one of Dennis's flights from the US to Ukraine. It can, but it can also hurt Nura. And probably everybody else's favorite video for today, Madhyar being, well, Madhyar. Eyes and Sting. Daily operational report. Well, yeah. Madhyar being Madhyar.
Розвідка. Бада-бум!
Бада-бум.
Пам'яті загиблого при виконанні бойового завдання Василя Каштана Ратушного, пілота нічного бомбера птахів Мадяра. Непоправна втрата. Честь і слава герою птаху. Відплата неминуча. Біль. Якщо йоблик стоїть на охороні, значить під бетонним саркофагом щось важливе ховають. На піздюль. FPV кліматим на народному оптоволокні розвідки боєм веде. А ось і вони. 3 танки до рядочку. Думали, сховалися. Ще щось? Да, там Бетер чи БМП. Ну, але працюватимемо по старшинству. Крайній зліва. Танк. На! Повторний по сусідньому. Йому дощ! Розвідка. Пада-бум! Добре гепнуло. можна більше не витрачати дронів. То новий щоденний формат оперативки в Йодей. Сьогодні 28 лютого, тож дивимося частину вйобчиків за добу, що минула. 27 лютого ще один гараж і ще один танк. І ще один танк на вулиці. Танків вчора відпрацьовано цілих 7. Я не знаю, чи цікаві вам ті цифри, але даватиму їх певний час. Протягом доби знищено, уражено 161 унікальну ворожу ціль. Серед суттєвих 31 храбак, техніки 40 одиниць, гармати, бачите, відпрацьовуємо. Гармат було 5, танків 7, БМП, ББМ 5, а ще міномети, польовий склад БК та інше. Загалом 4 БПЛА зала, 1 суперкам, ще один танчик, нічне відпрацювання. 1 зала і суперкам, сумісна робота з морпехами 38-ки, інші ціленаведення наші, інші 414, окрема бригада. 194 ураження нічними бомберами, 166 ураження FPV, 288 вильотів весільних мавіків, 34 сесії дистанційного мінування, 37 вильотів винищувачів, купол Покровськ 26 дронів виявлено, 20 знищено, купол Херсон 16 виявлено, 10 знищено. День цілком інтенсивний, хоча крайні дні тримаємо 200 плюс цілей протягом доби, але 27-го до обіду був туман. Тихої та спокійної, очі та жало, хрупачий жар.
So there is the daily report from Madhyar's birds. Birds of Madhyar, however you want to say it. You know, I think I just figured out the perfect job for Madhyar after the war. He needs to do audiobooks in Ukrainian language. He has almost the perfect voice for audiobooks. This is how the Russian army burns. We destroy infantry with dumps. They can try and run and hide in the forest, but you can't escape the aerial reconnaissance of the 3rd Assault Brigade. Attempts to set up a turnstile were met with repeated fire on the occupiers. Here is the video from 3rd Assault. Yeah, that would. I can see that, David. And we're coming to the last video of the night from the 42nd Brigade. You know, this is Viper's Brigade, but not his unit. Here is the video. just go with the flow. Be right back. Okay, sorry about that, but when you're drinking enough water, uh, things are required of you in behind the scenes. So I want to show you guys something that I started printing today. This is going to be one of the first items on the agenda for building up a contingency fund to help supply units with immediate needs that pop up. This is a 3D printed version of the Russian warship Go Fuck Yourself stamp. And I think for now, I'll be printing a couple of these out until Sunday. So I'll let you guys name the price on these, keeping in mind that it has to cover shipping, as well as, funds left over for the contingency fund. So, well, I was thinking 45, and you guys tell me, should 45 work, or should I go higher or lower? And this isn't going to be a limited time thing. This is going to be done every once in a while as funds need to be refilled. So far, let me go full screen here. So I got 2 of them printed up so far, and you can't really see them until you turn the light just right, and then you get the shadow. So 50. Okay. So I'm gonna do this on my giveagainua.com shit. Sorry, this is weird for me. It's pretty much the first time I've been doing a fundraiser for myself. So in the description below, let me pull up the air raid map and go back to scene so you're not looking at my ugly mug. But go to edit here. And in the description below, you see PayPal donations. We'll go with a 50 like you guys said. 50 even from Nura and Blonde. Send the money to that account. Give again UA. Again, the link's in the description. Going to copy. Well, it's not a link, unfortunately. But that is the PayPal account. And give your email address and I will start contacting you and getting addresses and sending these out. Basically the contingency fund. Well, that PayPal is a Ukrainian PayPal account. So unfortunately, PayPal doesn't support links for Ukrainian PayPal accounts. That money will go directly into Ukrainian checking and savings linked account. Here, let me go full screen again. Get this off of here. Full cam. And I'm going to use my finger to cover this up as best I can. But I already got the card, Visa card from Privet Bank in Ukraine. And any units that pop up with an immediate need, hey, our generator just got taken out. We need a new generator. That's where those funds are going to be going to. It's not going to be for like trucks or anything like that that takes a concerted effort to fundraise for. This is going to be, we need a new part for our truck. We need new tools for our mechanic. My vest got destroyed or lost because we had to evacuate, those kinds of things. I'm in contact with several brigades personally. 46, the 58th, the 56th, the 92nd, and the 96th as well. But beyond that, I'll be contacting Greg Terry and letting him know that this fund is available too, as well as Rick the Ukrainian, and just see what we can do and what we can gather and where it goes. So again, I thank you for your support, and give you guys, I should put it. Wait, am I still on full cam? No, I'm back on scene. Okay, so full cam. Give you guys an idea of the size. That's the credit card sitting inside the postage. So yeah, it's cool thing. I'm glad it worked. I'm glad I'm able to print them. And like I said, I got 2 of them printed up already. It is a 3-hour print. So yeah, I hope you guys can keep me up at night so I have to keep printing through the night and can't sleep because the printer's too loud. With that, I have other news. I've booked my flight to Ukraine, and I'll be back in Ukraine at the end of this year for 3 months. Won't give you guys the exact dates, but late September, early October, and there through December and into January. So yeah, the end of this year, I'll be live in Ukraine again. It's exciting news for me. And hopefully that means I can do another postcard campaign as well. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what to call it, but one of the things I did with Give Again Ukraine is I set up a revolving fund to help with the housing for displaced people. And it's always something I wanted to do with, donations for the military. Because getting something that's always there is ready to go, it's always a nicety. If a unit needs a drone or needs something like that, eventually the fund will get up to that point, I hope. But yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. And if nothing else, if the war ends before the funds are used up, I'll put the money towards, I don't know, rebuilding an apartment building or something for Ukrainian. So with that, I'll give you guys an update on how it's going on Sunday. And again, thank you for coming to the stream, hitting the like, sharing the video with other people, letting them know what's happening with Russia's attacks in Ukraine. But more importantly, thank you for supporting Ukraine. Especially now with Trump inserting his whole head up his ass is going to be more important than ever. So keep up the good work, and I'll see you next time. Have a good night, and stay safe, everybody. Sorry, I was reading chat. Have a good night, everybody.